very excited today to bring you another episode from the live podcast recording. And basically, how the evening worked is that I first up interviewed my really good friend Hannah Eisted. Then we had a little break and then I interviewed Gavin. So Gavin's episode came out last week, and today you get to hear Hannah's section from the event. It's a shorter interview, so only about 15 minutes. And we talk very specifically about Hannah's whole concept of big fish energy. And it's something that the two of us have talked a lot about over the last few years. It's a way that we encourage each other and push each other to go for bigger and better opportunities. And Hannah kind of explains how it came about and what she's learned in the process of trying to embody this big fish energy. So I really hope you enjoy the episode. As with the last one, you'll be able to hear the audience, the laughter, there's some noise, and obviously me referencing aspects about the in-person event. But I really hope you enjoy what Hannah has to share. I loved chatting to her, and people really resonated with what she had to say on the night. And I loved how much Gavin referenced what Hannah had to say in his episode as well. So yeah, enjoy. Welcome to the podcast, Hannah.
Thank you for having me.
Hannah is Hannah is the most repeated guest on the podcast. I think I didn't go back and count how many times you've been on, but it is quite a lot. Maybe if anyone in the room doesn't know who you are, you can give us a little introduction as to what you do.
You can't get rid of me.
No, I know.
So, hi, I'm Hannah Eisted. I am the founder of HI Communications. I have a book called The Best 90 Days Ever, and I've popped a few of them into the goodie bags as well, so you might have found one of those.
Some lucky people.
Some lucky people. And I basically teach small business owners how to promote what they do in 10 minutes a day. So that's what I do.
Nice. So what we're going to talk about this evening is very specific, and it's all about this concept of big fish energy. So you'll find also in your goodie bags a little sticker that says big fish energy. And this is something that came out of, I think, a voice note between the two of us like a couple of years ago. So maybe tell us like what it is, how you started to think about it.
Yeah, so we were actually talking about this earlier and trying to find the origin of it, weren't we? But basically, last year, I started to notice that there were things that I weren't putting myself forward for because I felt like I wasn't a big enough fish. I felt like there were other people who were bigger fish than I am and they would get the opportunity, and I was just really like holding myself back in lots of ways, which it probably didn't look like it from the outside, but there were things I wanted to do that I wasn't doing. And I said this to you, and we kind of came up with this idea of, well, what if you were a big fish? And what if you had big fish energy? What would that look like? And we were on our retreat last January, and I basically decided, okay, I'm going to do a bit of an experiment for the year. I'm going to make this the year of Big Fish Energy and just see what happens. And so much has happened. I mean, not just for me, but for you as well, to be honest. I feel like last year we were the biggest fish. And it just led to so many exciting opportunities.
So do you feel like when you decided to do it, your like mindset, how did your mindset shift, or did it happen straight away? Like what was the kind of like process of the change in your mind when you were like, right, I'm going to be a big fish?
Yeah, I think at first what I started to notice was where I was looking at other people and thinking, that's a big fish thing to do. Like, I would love to be doing something like that. And it wasn't, sometimes it was jealousy. Like, sometimes it was thinking, I would love to do that. Like, that would be really good. And other times it would be, seeing you doing something, and I'd be thinking, like when I saw you speak at Adobe Max, I was like, that is so big fish. That's amazing. So it kind of started to change my mindset in the way that I was looking for things that I wanted to be doing. And then I think the other thing that happened is that I started to think, well, what would a big fish do in that situation? And it's not always just putting yourself in situations where some people would automatically put themselves in. We were just talking about this earlier. Some people would have the audacity to just put themselves wherever they want to and be a big fish in that way. But it was also that I thought, okay, if there's an event that I want to speak at, how would a big fish pitch for that event? And I think that kind of mindset shift was really interesting as well.
So like even how you would just ask for the opportunity, not just going for the opportunity, but like how you would do it.
Yeah. Like my big goal that I wanted to speak at Atomicon, and I didn't just chuck up a pitch. You know, I really thought, okay, what's the biggest fish version of this that I could do? And I put so much time and energy into that.
I feel like you should tell people what you did. Hannah made a video where she was floating in a ring in the sea as part of her pitch. So you were literally made yourself a big fish.
Literally, yeah, exactly. But I just thought, okay, yeah, a big fish would do something different. They would try and capture attention. They would really think about what would make them stand out, and it worked because I got the opportunity, and that was my massive big fish goal, and I achieved it.
So tell me what other things happened. So it was sort of like the beginning of last year. You had this like mindset shift. You've already told us that you're speaking at Atomicon later this year. What other things have happened?
Yeah, so there's been some really fun speaking opportunities. So I spoke at Social Media Conference Cymru. Yeah. And actually, when I was searching through my WhatsApp chat with you earlier, that came up. And I said to you, it's in front of 400 people. I don't know if I can do it. And you were like, a big fish would do it. And I was like, yes.
What I love about it is it almost has become like a shorthand for us to use. So like because I was doing the same. I was like looking at how many times we'd mentioned big fish. And now we just say it to each other like, yeah, that's a really big fish thing to do, or a big fish would do that. It's almost like just this shorthand of like, like encouraging each other to go for it.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like this is a bit of a mean question, but what do you think was like holding you back before? Like because like I think what happened that started it all was that there was some opportunity where you were like, oh, I don't feel like I'm a big enough fish for this. What was your mindset back then? What was holding you back?
I think there was an element of comparison. I think as like business owners, we do automatically compare ourselves to other people because it's so easy to do that, especially with social media. Like you are seeing people do the things that you want to be doing. It's put in your face, really, whether you wanted to see it or not. And partly it was that comparison, but also I never stop. Like I go 1,000 miles an hour all the time. And I think I realised that I wasn't giving myself time to sit and think, oh, I've done these really cool big fish things, and just like sit in that for a moment. And our friend Paul said that to me recently. He said, Hannah, I just want you to sit with this for a moment because that's a really big deal. And I'd already moved on to the next thing. And I think that can be really difficult as business owners to be like, actually, yeah, I'm like really proud of that. And that feels like quite an impressive thing that I don't just need to skim over. So yeah, I think that was really interesting. And then another thing that I think really made a shift was noticing where in my business I wasn't doing the like foundational big fish things. Like I was treating my business not very well, and that didn't feel like a big fish energy thing to do. And I don't know if I should even admit this, but I didn't even have like a business bank account until last year. I've been doing this for 11 years and I still didn't have a business bank account.
I remember when you told me that you were running it all through your personal account, and I was like, oh, I felt anxiety.
And that's just not very responsible. But it was making my life harder. And so even just sort of stripping it back and noticing all of the different places where I thought I could treat this a little bit better, and I think that's going to have a knock-on effect for my business, and it 100% has. And now I like pay myself each month, and it's really nice to know that is taken care of, and I can actually spend the time doing other things.
So you've sort of talked about how you've done a lot of things now that feel really like big fish, and you like trying to take time to acknowledge them. Have you got like what's the next big fish thing? Like what's the bigger fish thing? You know, what sort of things are you looking forward to, thinking, okay, I want to become a slightly bigger fish?
I actually think it's almost the opposite of what you're probably expecting me to say. And it's almost that just for this year, I say this, I need you to like hold me accountable to this. I think I just want to focus on the things that I already have. So I think the biggest fish thing that I could do this year is focus on my membership and really put the energy into that and keep seeing that grow rather than looking for the shiny things all of the time. Because last year I had a year of experimenting in lots of ways, and that was really fun, and I felt like I needed that, and it was really good. And actually now I'm almost like, well, I know what works. I've had like the shiny object syndrome, and I've come back, and that feels really big fish to me. And I think that's the thing about it, is that you decide what that looks like for you. Some of the things that would be big fish for us are not big fish things for the people in this room. And also like the things that they're going for, I'll cheer you on, but I also don't want that for myself.
Yeah.
So it's really
like a very personal thing.
Yeah, it's thinking what it means for you.
Some people who listen to the podcast have commented about how I always mention in recent episodes that I go to the gym now. But I'm going to bring it up because I've got a good gym analogy for this, which is because I think like growth often looks different at different times. And so like when I first started going to the gym, it was all about like going up the weights. But one of the things that the personal trainer said to me was like, sometimes you won't be getting PBs all the time. You'll be working on your form. And so it'll be actually about keeping the weights the same, but like improving like how you do the thing. And I feel like that's the same as your business. Like you had a year where it was like all about like a very sort of visible growth, and now it's all about like almost improving the things that you have and making those really solid. So got my little gym analogy in there. Tick.
Yeah, I think that, do you know what? I'm running a marathon. And in the same sense as that, when you do like the easy training runs and you think, this feels too easy. What's the point in doing this? And the app will sometimes be like, that was not easy enough for you. Like that needed to be easier. And sometimes you have to just enjoy like that easy bit and like, just the repetitiveness of it. That's the growth.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am just going to quickly share I've got 3 sponsors for this event tonight. And so I just want to do a little shout out to all 3 of them. First up, I want to give a shout out to Studio Cotton. Studio Cotton is a web design studio that designs and builds incredible websites for independent businesses and podcasts. And 2 years ago, they built me the most amazing website for building your brand, which I am so proud of, and which really helped me level up the podcast and become a bigger fish, and attract like some amazing guests and sponsors. The website. Basically, they came up with features for the website that I could never even have dreamed about, and I just get so excited about them. So I've put in a few of them to share with you. It's things like I can update a guest's info. So say Hannah decided to change her Instagram handle tomorrow, which would be really annoying.
I would love to do that.
But I could go into my website, change it once. And because she is the most repeat guest, it would change it in all of the different episodes that you've been in. So that's one of my favorites. There's also like loads of information for guests before they come on the podcast, for people who want to sponsor it, people who want to pitch. And then one of my favorite features is that there is a page where I can share guests' books. And so it also then links to all of the episodes that they're in via the book. So that's really, really amazing. So definitely go check out that website. It's buildingyourbrand.net. Studio Cotton have been long-term supporters of the podcast, and Amy has been on it quite a few times as well. She might even be the second most repeat guest. And her episodes are always super popular. So to find out more, check out studiocotton.co.uk. And then next up, we have Matt Joyce, who is a Cardiff-based illustrator. And his illustrations mix bright colors with humor and a playful aesthetic. And he did the illustration for my podcast cover 5 years ago, which I can't believe. So when I initially started the podcast, I was like, Matt, please, can you draw me? Because I didn't want to use a picture of myself. And his illustrations are everywhere this evening. So you will see them on the pull-up banners. You will see them all over your goodie bags. Matt has worked with a whole range of clients, including Adobe, Bernardo's, the BBC, Green Man Festival, and Howie's, to name just a few. And as one of his clients, I can confirm that he is an absolute dream to work with. He makes the whole process easy and smooth and comes to the table with lots of brilliant ideas in a really collaborative way. So if you want to find out more, head to matt-joyce.com. And then finally, Adobe Express. So I have been working with Adobe Express for about 5 years. I've been so fortunate that so many people at Adobe have believed in me and invested in me many times over the last 5 years, and they've done it again by sponsoring this event this evening. I use Adobe tools every single day, and they've helped me build my career. And in recent years, they've supported me with incredible opportunities that we talked about, like speaking at Adobe Max. And I've been part of an amazing community with them as well. If you haven't come across Adobe Express, it's a tool that, as a branding designer, makes it really easy for me to hand over files and designs that I create to my clients in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming and intimidating for them, and makes it really easy for them to then use those designs. And I also use it to create a lot of my content for the podcast and for my business. And one of my favorite features is the scheduler. Hannah doesn't like scheduling content. I love scheduling content. And it's totally free to use, and you can head over to express.adobe.com to try it out. So thank you very much.